So I want to spotlight about four things that I pointed out to my patient that if you know somebody who's suffering from wet macular degeneration or macular edema, it's four things to take a look at. The first is that I have seen a correlation between macular edema and dairy products. In fact, I've had a number of people where I've counseled them to go off dairy products completely, and they will say within a month or so their macular edema or wet macular degeneration tends to recede. So this is pretty phenomenal to note how dairy products might be a contributing factor to wet macular degeneration. The second factor in this is if we've ever been exposed to mold. And, when I say that to people, I ask them that question, immediately they go, no, I have never been exposed to mold. But if they start examining if they've ever lived in an environment or in an apartment or a house where there's been any kind of leaking from the ceiling, the bathroom, the kitchen, or a leaky roof, chances are they may have been exposed to mold. And mold is another one of those toxins that actually affects our circulation. And since the retina is made up of tiny microcapillaries, the tiny blood vessels that help us with oxygenating and hydrating and delivering nutrients to the retina, mold is one of those impediments that actually begins to create a congestion in the microcapillaries' ability to deliver the nutrients that are needed. And number three is blood sugar levels. So a correlation that I often see is that if people are suffering from either macular edema or wet macular degeneration, that they may be pre-diabetic, they may have issues with glucose levels, blood sugar levels. So again, it's something that you want to check. And then last but not least, and this is a big one, and I think this is affecting all of us on some level right now, but just generally speaking, I think our bodies run in a way where we induce inflammation. And any kind of gut inflammation does transmit to the possibility of having eye disease, things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, cataracts, dry eye, and other eye conditions. So inflammation definitely rules the roost, especially if we're under chronic stress like now. We're all in a hypervigilant state, a fight or flight freeze response. So we know we're in a sympathetic nervous system overdrive. We're probably not eating very well just because of the stress. We're not sleeping well. And so inflammation is a really important aspect to be aware of. And this is why eating alkalinized foods, things like cucumbers and celery, using things like curcumin, turmeric, ginger, anti-inflammatory agents, very important to make sure in the scheme of things that you're eating more of an anti-inflammatory diet. And I would add colorful rainbow vegetables, and that's such a better way to go. So still staying more in the plant kingdom primarily, and including your fats and oils. That's another way for you to be able to reduce inflammation